Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fred.
This is Real Talk with George and Frazier. What's going on, brother?
Oh man, more weekend, man. A long weekend. You know I'm having fun.
Oh man, I can't even think about that right now, man. My son has a big basketball tournament this weekend. And I mean, look, it's good, but it's just that you can't plan like barbecues and going over to somebody's house because you got to hop to this game or that game, or if you got to get there, you got to get there early and be like, peace, see you later. You know what I mean? It's just
tailgate.
crazy.
Tailgate's for called
Crazy.
tailgate. You barbecue and take it with you.
Nah, that's all right. These are basketball folks. These ain't football folks. Then all of a sudden, all his teammates will be there. Oh, you got some? Can I get a burger? Can I get a drink? You know what I mean? So
you feed the other team. You feed the other team so you can win. You don't know how to do that, man? Oh, trick of the book. You feed them so they get full. And people can't play good game when they got a full stomach. They go to sleep.
Yeah, man.
Easy win, baby. Easy win.
That's definitely not gonna work for these kids in Jersey, brother. Let me tell you that. But listen, y'all, we got a great show today, man. We have Mrs. Avery Atkinson, aka Lady A. She's here on the show to talk about herself and her program. Welcome to Real Talk.
Hey, how you doing?
Your volume is muted.
Mute your mic.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now you can.
Yeah, we can hear you. Beautiful. Welcome to the show.
I was so ready to join the party. I was on mute. My bad.
Well, welcome to the show. Thanks for being on.
Yes, thanks for having me, guys. I'm very excited. I heard you guys talking about the long weekend and your plans. I didn't get an invite, but it's okay. It's the first time week. I don't know if I'm cool yet. I get it.
All right. Well, listen, if you can get to New Jersey and Miami, you're more than welcome.
More than welcome. Come visit.
I'm on my way. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet, but I'm on my way.
That's right. Oh, so tell the fans and the listeners a little bit about yourself. I know you're an author and you also started an organization, Lady A Global. Am I saying that correct?
You are. I'm only looking down because I'm sharing this with some people, but yes, you are.
Beautiful.
Share. Keep on sharing.
Yes. So right. Share everywhere. Yes. So I am Lady A Global. I do own a company, is Lady A Global Creative Consulting Company. And also I own a spa, which is where I am right now. I'm in between clients. So I own the Queen's Quarters here in Holly Springs, North Carolina. I also am an author 3 times over. I'm an international speaker. I also own a nonprofit called Passport University, where we work with HBCU students to help them get their first passport and take them on their first trip overseas. And I love people. And as that goes, I'm also the wellness pastor at the Hill Community Church in Birmingham, Alabama. Wow, that's it.
Wow, George.
Beautiful.
Questions.
Oh, yeah, I always have questions. Okay. Being an author myself and an entrepreneur, with multiple business ventures, I know it can definitely be difficult. Yep. Yes. Give us the inspiration for Lady A Global.
Yeah, so Lady A Global actually was birthed while I was living in South Korea, where I lived for almost a decade. Tons of people wanted advice. First, how to get out of the country, which for us people, you should definitely do that. I need y'all to have your passports on deck. So a lot of advice about how to get overseas. And then once they got there, there's a lot of transition, especially if you don't know the language. So really it just kind of started out as me just giving tips to friends. That spurred into a YouTube channel, which again, it was really for me just to kind of catalog this really out of the box experience that was totally and completely random. I literally left the country with $150 in my pocket, and that was it. I didn't know the language. I didn't know anything about Korea. God said go, so I was like, and I'm out. Right. So it really just started out with me sharing my story, and I realized that people not only were interested in the story, but they were also interested in the wisdom and just my take on things. And so that kind of grew into media. I began to work with Korean TV, as well as the Korean Times, NBC in Korea. And then that just really is what kind of changed everything, being featured in those media platforms. So I was able to really grow business from there, and help people to build brands around their lives. A lot of times people try to go into business or try to build something that they're not passionate about, and it doesn't work. So being able to help people skip through the knee bumps and, forehead bumps, you can just get to the success part. So that's really where Lady A Global came from.
Beautiful. Nice. Beautiful. And so, being a Black Korean myself, and the only reason why I say that is because every martial arts I've studied has been Korean based. So Korean kickboxing, taekwondo, hapkido.
Yes.
I have multiple black belts in both. I looked at some koksuwan and a few other things. So I'm saying that to say
you're Korean. 안녕하세요.
So,
He's Korean. I'm Thai. I go that way.
How was the transition in Korea? Because my best friend in high school was Korean, so we knew a little bit about food and things of that nature. How was that being a person of color in Korea? Because you see the differences. Some people say it's great, depending on what country you go to. Some people go to Japan and have a very hard time. Some people go to China and love it. Yep. So how is it as a person of color going to an Asian country like that?
Right. So, first of all, I need you to go to Korea and open up a hagwon, because they would just definitely, you would change your whole life, and you, like me, would never want to come back. So that's first. Shout out to you for that. I would say being in Korea is like being in any space that you choose to take up. It's how you choose to take up space. For me, I was very unapologetic about my Blackness. At that time, I had super long locks. I'm not a flat woman. I'm a curvy woman. So many of the women there obviously are the opposite, extremely that, right? So it was a lot of eyes and I'm chocolate. So it was just a lot going on for them to process. But I was really unapologetic about how I took up the space, and I intentionally set out to have a good time. I wanted to be a teacher as well as a student, and being able to kind of navigate that, I really believe that attracted good experiences. I'm not saying it's perfect, nowhere is, because people be peopling, right? No matter what you're in.
You're right.
But I decided to make it a good experience. And for me, it was really, really beautiful. Korea is... man, it's a place of its own. I know every place is like, there's no place like ours, but I've traveled a lot and some places are very similar. There's no place on the planet like Korea. It's just not. Fun fact, they're like the black folks of Asia. Yeah, so they do chicken, they do beer, they do watermelon. Right. Leave your fruit out, it's going to be gone before you get back. Like all of this negative stereotypes about us, they live it big. So it was really, really great experience. Japan was only 45 minutes away. So I used to do like brunches on Saturdays in Japan. That was kind of my getaway. So to speak, because here's the difference in experience. So Korea is very accepting, but it's also very like like you're on display all the time, and that can be taxing. And even though I'm a personality, even though by that time I had been on TV and all these other places, you just don't get used to people like fishbowling you. Japan is the complete opposite. Everybody's doing something off the wall, right? So you could walk up to the corner and then look to your right, and there's like somebody in an astronaut suit. There's somebody dressed like a clown. There's a business guy. There's a Russian lady, and everybody's crossing the street and nobody's paying attention. So it was great to just go blend in. Woosah, nobody cares that I'm black. Nobody cared that I had blocks. Nobody cared about any of that because everybody's doing their own thing. So, so each country has its own experience, but as I said, ultimately, it's how you choose to show up in that space. I believe determines the kind of experience that you have.
Nice.
That's true. That's true. I mean, I like to travel a lot too, and I learned that different cultures are not what people say they are, what people stereotype and say it is, how they say it be. You got to go there to learn it and understand it. And I'm a firm believer that if you say, oh, this place is terrible, I'm going to go there and find out myself.
That's right.
See what this experience feel like. And so far, everybody's wrong. I hate to say it. I ain't put nobody on blast. But so far, every stereotype they've said to them about certain islands was wrong.
Yeah.
Some islands they totally fantasized about and hyped us so hype. Ain't that all that hot. Mm-hmm. It's not really that hot, really. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's why I say you have to get out more and understand that. And by saying that, they're like, what are some of the things that other people want to go out places, and key tips you have for them to enjoy themselves without letting the stereotype hit them in the head. Oh my God, you this way, or you this way. So
I'll say this, and I don't know. I mean, y'all can like cut the camera short if I'm not allowed to say it. But I will say this: travel is a culture. And it depends on what culture you're from. It has been my experience that when we travel, because we are already the outsiders here, we don't go with entitlement issues. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't go with expectations on our shoulder. We like, oh, what else? Like this is a whole new experience. We're like kids in a candy store. And that translates. I promise you it does. Every country that I visit, that's always the conversation. Once we kind of break down the language barrier, they say there's a difference between how some of our other counterparts travel and how we travel. We're welcoming. We're like, hey, how you doing? We're trying to learn. We're, whereas other people, they go to be entertained. They expect a certain level of service. They have the same entitlement we experience here. They take that with them overseas. And sometimes the countries put up with it because it's tourist money, right?
Yeah. Right.
Then you'll also notice that those people aren't getting invited home. I have family members from other countries all over the world. They're like, come to dinner, come to whatever, because how I show up. You know what I'm saying? So I think one of my tips would be don't go entitled. Like you said, don't think when you go it's what you read about or what somebody else's experience was. Go to have your own experience. Another tip that I would say is find out and do a little digging prior to going to visit. And I don't mean asking people, how was your experience? I mean, find out what are the traditions prior to you going. Do people bow? If you're going out to drink, for example, in Korea, when you're out drinking, it is a heavily drink-centered society.
Right.
Like, everybody drinks. The pastor, my first Sunday there, he was like, oh, we have a new English pastor. Everybody for drinks. Like, he literally bought out the restaurant. Me not being a drinker, I was like, God, for real? But I had to grow up. They knew God real well. But my point is, had I read about that, I wouldn't have been shocked, right? So I think some part of it is that you have to do your homework because you're going to these people's house. It's no different than if one of you guys invited me over, which, by the way, y'all both did, and I'm going to come get this grilled food. But if y'all invited me over and your tradition was like, well, when people come in, they take their shoes off at the door, right? So if I just walk straight in the house and I don't see that these shoes are there, you might not be readily offended, but you're definitely going to have to say something. And then I'm going to be like, but I didn't get my toes done and I don't want to take them out. Or whatever the case may be. Where had I just paid attention to how you run your house, I could have gotten into the flow of things. It's the same when you travel. See what are their customs. If you're going to the Caribbean, for example, and you're going during a jute or for Carnival, don't go with a whole bunch of clothes because everybody's gonna be naked. Like you should go, do your research before you go. So those would be my top 3 tips. I think also when you go, I like to travel like I'm broke. I'm not broke, but I like to travel like I'm broke.
Yes, absolutely.
It makes you like find like the real heart of what's going on. You're not like, oh, I'm the tourist, I got all this money. No, I have no money. Where's the street food? And I promise you, people just pop out of nowhere. Ooh, go down there, they sell this, and go over there. I have the best time like behind the scenes when I travel like I'm broke. So
and can I add on to that too? I'm gonna put a little value on that, okay? Because I know when I've traveled a lot of places, my key is find the Black people. When I went to Montreal, find the Black folks. We went to Germany, find the Black folks. We went to England, find the Black folks. Because I can guarantee you, you're going to get some type of rice. You're going to get some type of green or potato salad that you're used to seeing, at least recognizing it. You see what I'm saying? You're going to get some type of chicken or fish or beef that you recognize. You know what I mean? And you're not going to feel, lost.
Yes.
You know? I always like to shut my mouth because the moment I open my mouth, they'll be like, oh, American. But as long as you do this is the universal language of every Black person. You know what I mean? So it's just like you just move with them, you just slide with them, and then when you open them up, they'll be like, oh, I didn't know he didn't speak French. Man, that brother's cool as a fan. You know what I mean? Like just, you know what I mean? But you're there with them. You're like you said, you're not a tourist, you're not beating your chest, oh, I'm American, or you make the biggest mistake of all. You speak English? Come on, man, please. You in somebody else's country, greet them in their language first. Show them that respect. You know what I mean?
True.
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
I would say this. I ain't had that problem. Kind of like everybody. Right now, I come in here, a little ball with beer, and put a hat on. I'm a guy. All day, every day. Now, if I go somewhere else, cut the beard off. I look at Spanish. Oh, didn't know you? Hey, you like my cousin.
Right.
You're everywhere. You be like, dang, you doing it? Yeah, joking like, okay, it's a party. Okay. Hey, that's the best thing to do. I'll tell you, let them know you. You say, it's on. You ain't paying for nothing more. Now you from boat, so you ain't paying for nothing. You be like this. Right. I'm family, y'all. It's a family cookout.
So true. It's so true. And there are Facebook groups for that. A lot of the recruitment, I think when I first went to Korea, we made up less than 1% of the population. By the time I left, we made up 5. And that was intentional. I recruited people intentionally. I paid for passports. Like, I was very intentional about spreading this opportunity. But to your point, George, there are Facebook groups. You can just type Black in Russia, Black in Korea, Black in whatever. These communities will pop up. And also part of the work that we do with Passport University is to spread the fact that we literally are everywhere and we're not new anywhere. We have deep history in every single corner of the world. Being able to go and see, these are our cousins. These are our extension of our ancestors. These are part of the diaspora. We're all one, like, truly. That has been a big, big part of what we look to do and what we look to expose our HBCU students to. Like, no, you have family everywhere, and you don't have to settle for the narrative that the United States gives you. There's so much more to you, and you're connected to so much more than that. So, yeah, absolutely. Find the Black folks.
That is true. I was told that when I was growing up, the passport is a key to life.
Yes.
Because it's better than a driver's license, and it's better than anything you ever had because you get more experiences.
Yes.
There's some people I've been around, grew up with, have never been out of their freaking county, not the state, the county.
Yeah.
At all. They've been almost 30, 40 years old. I'm like, bro, you ain't seen nothing yet. Like, they look at me like, oh, you rich? No, I'm not rich. I just travel. I want to see things. Mm-hmm. And it's funny how people think we think inside the box.
Right.
We talk things inside the box. That's why a lot of Black people don't have passports.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not just Black people, Fraze, and I'm gonna just give you a term for that. They're called townies. Okay,
County.
Live there, born there, raised there, and die there. Townies.
Yeah.
Okay? And it's with that type of culture and that mentality that the last administration, I'm sorry, we don't say his name on the show.
I'm with it.
The last administration used that ignorance and that level of ignorance to spread whatever it is that they wanted to spread.
Right.
And what people don't understand is less than 5% of the U.S. population actually has passports, actually travels. Right. So how are your students with your unit with your program looking at that, looking at travel? Because I feel like even in my house, we are traveling helps you get culture. Traveling opens the door. My kids are picky about certain things that they eat until they see somebody who's been homeless. And I'm like, remember that plate that you threw away? He'd be happy to eat that plate right now. And then they realize, holy smokes, maybe I'm just a little bit too this or maybe a little bit too that. I remember for a long time, people didn't really believe that there were homeless people in Washington, D.C. So you'd come to the country and you'd be like, America, this, that, the third. And then you go to D.C. Wait, hold on. I'm in Washington, D.C. There's a dude sleeping right. You know what I mean? And it got so bad, if you remember, for the Reagan administration, that they actually had to move the homeless people out of the way of the White House and the Capitol building, all this other stuff, and find a place to put them for the international public image. Right. But if you don't go and see all those particular things, you'll never know. You'll only be caught on the narrative. And that narrative, now that we know, can swing, just on the drop of the dime with this quote unquote alternative facts type universe they actually put us in. You see what I'm saying? So it's definitely crazy. How are your students embracing the travel and embracing that experience?
Yes. So pre-pandemic, as my friend called it, pre-pandemic, everybody was excited. It was so interesting because there was a huge disconnect between students and administration. A lot of times we would show up, we would make our pitch, hey, we want to work with you on your campus, so forth and so on. And the administration would be like, oh, they're not interested, or our students really haven't mentioned anything about travel, or we'll see how it goes. They just were kind of reluctant to that, and kind of tone deaf, really. And to your point, if it's less than 5%, they're probably part of that percentage that they haven't traveled. So it seemed like a huge, just unnecessary conversation, because it was also out of their frame of reference. But then we would turn around and talk to students, and they'd be like, "Yes, we want to go. Tell us about it." So we just circumvented admin altogether, and we just started doing pop-ups on campuses to the students, because messing around with admin, it would have taken forever. So initially the students were very excited about it, and we were able to not only give out passports, but the other part of what we do is we actually try to create global citizens. So in addition to just giving out passports and trips,
Yes.
we get them connected with the DoD. We tell them about opportunities like you can travel while you're in school. We can recruit you to travel and make 3,000 American dollars debt free. So we try to tackle the wealth gap as well, boosting their resume and also getting them placement once they graduate so that they can go overseas and do like our counterparts and travel and party their way through Asia while paying off their school debt, right? So we try to really give them a holistic approach to what it means to be a traveler and what it means to be a global citizen. And all of our students were open. We had no student that like wasn't interested. Between administration and the parents, that's right. The kind of what was, and we had to like really work through changing that mindset about traveling and, you know, leaving your community and not being a townie, and that it's okay to do that. And it doesn't make you feel like you're better. It doesn't alienate you. It enhances who you are, and you can bring those experiences back to your community and expand everyone's knowledge based on your experience. So, and I do think that part of the success of anyone traveling is preparing for reverse culture shock. So you're going to get culture shock when you go, but then coming back to America, and especially if you live and not just travel, but if you live over there for an extensive amount of time, preparing people that you're going to be different when you return. It's just like coming back from college. You're not going to be the same things you did when you were in high school. And with people who you left behind in high school, they're not going to be ready for that conversation. They're not going to be ready for this with you because they didn't evolve, you did. And so for us, we try to also prepare our students for that too. When you come back, your language is going to be different because now your reference isn't the 16 blocks you live on. The reference is a whole country that you went to. And seeing yourself as a global citizen and a part of the global narrative, and realizing like we have it hard, but we don't have it as hard as the people that we saw. Exactly. So, or we don't have money here, but we just saw, you know, these Black people that live in a house that literally has a gold gate, right? So it just changes. Travel literally changes you. And so we do try to prepare our students for that conversation afterwards. Not everybody's going to be down with your change, and you have to be okay with evolving without them. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Let's transition a little bit to your books.
I'll get a book.
Phrase, I got you, Phrase. You and me right here. Let's transition on to your books. What are the titles of your books, and what were the inspiration?
Yeah, so my very first book I actually wrote while I was in Korea, and it's called Awesome Truths, Confessions of a Believer. Korea was a beautiful experience. Spiritually, though, it was so loud. And when I say loud, I mean the voice of God was so loud. And I remember literally praying, like, God, why are you so loud here? Like, why couldn't I hear you stateside? And Sir was like, I've been speaking the same volume the whole time, but now there's less traffic, right? There's less people's opinions. There's less of tradition. There's less of people's expectations that you're listening to. Those voices have been removed, and now it's just me and you. And so having that experience was super, super freeing. It really put depth to my relationship. And then as I began to minister, obviously I was ministering long before I went to Korea. I continued to do that once I got there. I ended up starting an international Bible study, and it like really took off. And then I became an English pastor. But the one question that I was getting over and over and over again was, how do you pray? Like, cause we're hearing your conversations about you and God, and how did you get there? And I'm thinking everybody prays to God like that. That's not the case. So these people from all over the world literally wanted to know, is there really a God? If he is, how do I talk to him? And what does he think about me? Those are the main questions that I got over and over again. So I a little bit wrote it because I was tired of repeating myself, if I'm being honest. So instead of having this conversation, now I'm like, here, take this book. And so it is a prayer journal, and it walks you through the scriptures, and it comes with love letters. So it's a scripture about what God says about you, and then it's a love letter from God, and then there's a space that you can actually write back to God. So really, it just puts people in the practice of having a conversation, because that's all prayer is a conversation. So it transitions from what God says about me, what I say about myself, and what God and I can now do together now that we're clear on who everybody is. So that's my first book, Awesome Truths, Confessions of a Believer. My second book is I'm Single, So What? And that is my relationship book. Again, I think there's a theme here. I'm tired of repeating myself. I always get questions. I don't care where I am. I always get questions, why are you single? Don't you want kids? And it's always like, what's wrong with you? It's always from this negative, just this space of, there's something wrong with you, right? Deficit, that's the word I want. Like singleness is like a deficit. And so I was so tired of explaining that I'm actually happy. Life is amazing. Just because I'm single doesn't mean I don't have companions, right? Single, right. You're not married. So there's a lot of spaces before you get to I do. So I'm just really tired of repeating that. I wrote a book. I'm Single, So What? And it really is a guide for people to have a successful singlehood, to enjoy being single, and to have answers ready, because we all know that Thanksgiving, go to the table. It's like, you ain't bring a boy this again. That's all right. So we ain't bring nobody. What's wrong with you? Right. So now you got answers on deck as to what you're doing, as to why you don't have anyone on your arm, and really it teaches you really self-love, like unapologetic, free, just roaming self-love. And the book, although I wrote it, obviously I'm single, I wrote it for singles. I have married people who read the book and they're like, oh my God, I need to go back and date myself again. I have people who are dating and they're like, maybe this is the person I should be dating. Right. So it's really been interesting to see everybody's different take on the book. But yeah, it is Awesome Truths. I'm Single, So What? A Single's Guide to a Successful Singlehood. My last book is Travel Light, Be the Light. Obviously, I'm in my spot. I'm all about spiritual wellness. I'm about balance, and I'm really about forging your own path and what that looks like. You cannot move forward without taking charge over the words that you speak. Your words literally create the atmosphere that you're in, the spaces that you go into, and also your forward movement. And so teaching people how to affirm who they are, and then teaching people not just to affirm it, but then what does that look like in day-to-day living. So Travel Light, Be the Light is literally a 8-week affirmations challenge. So you get to speak it, and then you should see it show up before the next week comes. So
that's right.
Yeah, those are the 3 books.
Wow. Right. Well, you know me.
Right? Sorry.
George can't get it. I'm happy single. He's married. He's happily married. So he's a different conversation over there, George.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it though. You're married. Woo.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong
with
it.
Phrase. That's right. Happily married. 22 years.
My idol.
That's right.
Yeah.
22 years.
He's my idol. Right. He's my idol. He's what I look forward. I'm trying to find a mate one day. I'm gonna be like him. Be happy my time. But I mean, so what I know you said the book can bring a lot of questions, right? The family gotta have more questions than anybody.
Yeah, Praise got questions.
How you do it? Your female counterparts who say you should be dating this person, or try to set you up with a person, and try to say that this person is better for you. You like, I'm happy. How do you get them to understand that mindset? That you get them to understand it, because they're the hardest. Family, you just throw them.
I've never been set up on a blind date, so I don't have that kind of reference, but people do, the whole you should date so you can be happy. And my questions back to them is always, what do I look sad? Right. What part of this seems like I'm unhappy? And they take a moment and they realize me partnering with someone would make them happy because that's their expectation, but that's not the expectation I have for myself. And I am genuinely good, for real, I'm genuinely good. And then, with my girlfriends, I can be a little bit more, candid with them. Yeah. I'm like, sis, how many times a week do you hear me calling about a man? I'm worried about him cheating. Can you come watch my kids? And I don't have any of that. When you hear me, it's like, oh, I'm about to be in Hawaii. I'll check you in next week. When you hear me, that's my conversation. Exactly. So who's really unhappy? Because I'm helping you with your relationship issues. Exactly. I sleep good at night. So I just think everybody has to find their own brand of happiness, whether that happiness is connected to another person, which I also think is beautiful. I'm not anti-relationship at all. In fact, I am so pro-relationship that I don't think you should do it until you're ready. And I don't think you should do it until it's purposed. Right. So yeah, I think whatever your happiness looks like, run after that. Whatever a partnership looks like, run after that. But I will say, I don't think anyone can be happy until you're happy on your own, because it's not anybody else's responsibility to make you happy.
Go ahead, preach.
that's where people run into a brick wall, right? So they
That's
have
right.
this relationship, they have these scars, they have this baggage, they have all these things they're dealing with, and they're expecting that connecting with this person is going to absolve all those things and magically they're going to be okay. When the reality is, partnering with someone else just illuminates those things. Now it's two people and their baggage and all this stuff to deal with. So yeah, I that's always my answer. Like, A, what about my life makes you think I'm not happy? And then B, let's talk about the times you come to me unhappy and I don't ever have to go to you because
Exactly.
I'm not connected to anyone for that. So that's my answer.
I like that answer.
I like that answer myself. You know what I mean? If I would have known that years and years and years ago, we could have saved ourselves money on counseling.
Ooh,
you know,
could save you a long time.
Yeah, man. It's been over 20 years, but it wasn't all roses. You know, we had to learn, we had to grow. We knew each other from college, you know, and that's where we started. So it's definitely all good. Listen, that's our time. We definitely appreciate you, but I want to have you back because I want to talk about some other things as well too. That being said, let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited. I'm so glad we got it together. I think my schedule was so crazy getting back to you, back and forth. You guys are super patient. So thank you for that. So again, as they've already said, I am Lady A of Lady A Global. You can find me at Lady A Global everywhere across all social media. And if you don't have access to social media, you can find me online, www.ladyaglobal.com. If you're in North Carolina, you can always swing by the spa. It's the Queen's Quarters. You can type that in on Google. We're the very first and only one. So you can pop in there. You can also visit us at the Queen's Quarters NC on Facebook. All of my books and all of the programs and anything to connect with me is all there.
Nice.
Absolutely.
And my thing I always say is, you got any last minute tip for the young generation who's going through something like that or trying to find themselves?
Trying to find themselves.
Mindset you already have.
Oh, that's a big question. No, I mean, self-love, right? Like everything starts with self-love. If you're clear on how to love yourself, you will have clear directions. You'll become the standard. So you won't need standards because you are the standard. You'll be able to do what makes you happy in life. You will attract things that make you happy and things that will make you grow. And last but not least, don't be afraid of evolution. I think that scares a lot of people because they're used to what they're used to. And sometimes familiar bondage is better than unfamiliar freedom. So I would just tell people, don't be afraid to evolve. If it changes into something new, it takes you to a new space. It's a beautiful adventure and just take it for what it is.
There it is.
Thank you.
Well, we definitely appreciate you. Phrase say it. Welcome to the family.
Welcome to the family.
That's right.
He's a family now. He's a family.
You guys are great. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.
It's a pleasure always.
Have a great weekend or the rest of the week.
Enjoy a long weekend now.
Bye.
Oh, I am. I'm definitely gonna do that.
I know you will.
Bye.
Bye. Oh man,
There's
George,
our show.
Together, George. You know that mean you got a banger.
Always. Listen, y'all enjoy the rest of the week. I think we have shows on Thursday and Friday as well too. So check that out. Always come back to our Facebook page and Instagram and check us out. Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fred.
And that was Real Talk with George and Frazier. Peace.
Peace.